Hi, I'm Tony and welcome to Rookie Review. In this episode, we'll be reviewing the mental abuse of Winnie the Pooh, also known as the 2018 movie Disney's Christopher Robin. The premise of the movie seems kind of strange to me. It focuses on Christopher Robin as a middle-aged, miserable man who's returned from the war and is wrapped up in his work life. Does this sound like a Disney movie to you? Seriously? This alone has to be one of Disney's bigger missteps, since they've been on their hot streak in recent years. The adult, real-world direction that this movie foolishly takes makes it feel more like a Saving Mr. Banks, without the charm of Tom Hanks, as opposed to the latest, fun, action-packed nostalgia trips like Beauty and the Beast and The Jungle Book. So, Pooh and the gang aren't characters that need, or even warrant, a $150 million adventure movie, but deciding to focus on post-war depression Britain, redundancy, class divides, and Robin's failings as a husband and father, instead of focusing on the charm of characters that we all know and love who have stood the test of time, is just odd. Think. Why did this happen, Disney? The movie opens on quite a morose and sad goodbye party for Christopher Robin when he's still a young boy going off to boarding school. The movie plays into the tired adage of we don't stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. Leaving our childhood behind is something we almost do and therefore can relate to. But it feels as though the movie is trying to take us on the emotional rollercoaster that Pixar's Up did so well. But with Christopher Robin, it just feels like they're trying too hard and it doesn't pay off. We're thrust into a montage that sees Christopher sent to boarding school, dealing with death, and ultimately growing up and forgetting about Pooh. All the while, we're provided with snippets of Pooh waiting around for Christopher to come out and play again, which is absolutely heart-wrenching. Yes, I did cry several times. The main plot of the film kicks in when Pooh steps out of the 100-acre wood to find Christopher, who Pooh is sure will help him find his friends. But this doesn't present Robin and Pooh's reunion as a pleasant nostalgia trip down memory lane, and instead Christopher sees Pooh as an annoying distraction. Seriously, Robin, you have a talking teddy bear who is a delight, and that's how you treat him? You don't deserve Pooh. He should be mine. This relationship and the treatment of Pooh really does have a negative knock-on effect for the audience, who don't get to experience the usual fun highs of a classic Disney romp. This is especially the case for the first half of this movie, with its suffocating bleakness, both tonally and visually. I mean, even Tigger is so washed out, you wouldn't know if he was supposed to be a tiger or an albino cat, and it feels like an experimental Winnie the Pooh movie made by an independent studio, offering a quirky take on some public domain characters. While it's the second half of the plot that plays into Disney conventionality, playing it safe with by-the-numbers hijinks and family bonding as once Pooh is reunited with the old gang, it is then their turn to help Robin with his real-life world issues. But the obviously deeper meaning of the movie, in typical Disney fashion, is for Robin to realise what's truly important in his life. As a frustrating side note, little to no explanation is given as to whether Christopher always knew Pooh was real, or how Pooh and the gang are actually real, or how they made it to London through a teleporting tree. I'd also go as far to say that this movie is not for kids. The serious plot and lack of cuddly characters' screen time just doesn't seem like something kids would or would want to sit through. This is certainly a movie that is trying to capitalise on the growing nostalgic passion for Disney from the adult audience. However, the most unsettling and egregious act as to why this movie is unsuitable for kids is the verbal assault and mental abuse lovable and charming Pooh Bear is subjected to throughout most of the movie from McGregor's ungrateful, fraught and highly strung portrayal of Christopher Robin. This is seriously painful to watch and really made me feel upset and uncomfortable. Oh, whoa. Pooh's absences in the final third of the movie also handicaps the enjoyment factor, as although Tigger, Eeyore and Piglet are fun enough characters for the humour to rest on, it's strange that Pooh and his importance to the plot begins to fade into the shadows until the final moment of the movie. Pooh and his childlike innocence of not understanding or realising how he is being harshly treated by someone he loves unconditionally makes many segments of this movie a devastating watch. McGregor's acting skills are pushed to the limits in this movie, especially when he has to act cheery. You can almost see him cracking under the pressure of having to smile. Hayley Atwell plays Christopher Robin's wife, but her role feels really limited, and she doesn't get to shake the cobwebs from this character. But congratulations to Mark Gatiss, who plays typical sleazy businessman archetype 101 to a T. Pooh Bear is aptly presented as the greatest and wisest philosopher of our time, and his matter-of-fact manner is brilliantly and touchingly funny, making Pooh incredibly likeable and charming. This is helped by a great deal from the voice acting from the principal woodland characters, as it's on point for the most part. The blank, expressionless face of Pooh Bear may have turned some people off from revisiting Disney's latest reimagining of some of their most beloved and classic characters, but for me, I found it comical and endearing. However, the muted visuals in this movie, from the foggy and gothic Hundred Acre Wood to the actual characters themselves, was a strange stylistic choice, though thankfully this washed out dilution doesn't mute the timeless personalities of the fluffy characters. The legendary Jim Cummings returns with his perfect rendition of his innocent and subdued Pooh, while Tigger is his regular bouncy, trouncy, founcy, pouncy self. New addition to the voice cast, Disney and Pixar stalwart Brad Garrett is a perfect casting choice for Eeyore, as is Toby Jones and his whimsical portrayal of wise old Owl. On the flip side, the likes of Piglet, Rabbit, Kanga and Roo came across as quite bland. Visually, the texture of the characters looks incredibly realistic, and I liked the design choice of going retro with Piglet. In fact, there are plenty of callbacks to the classic moments of Pooh, from his morning exercises to get him in the mood for food, to Tigger being confused when he sees his reflection, meaning Disney diehards will still have moments of sunshine in this otherwise quite bleak offering. However, not everything sticks the landing due to how uncartoonish and un-Disney the movie feels at times. Moments like Tigger's "The Wonderful Thing About Tigger's" song feels out of place and tacked on. Though this does pave the way for characters like Eeyore to become the comical standout, while the beloved fluffball of energy Tigger felt a bit overlooked and shortchanged at times. Ultimately, this is a very strange Disney movie, as it's the most mature and emotionally devastating reinterpretation of beloved classic characters I've ever seen. Seeing the contrast of the Hundred Acre Wood characters with the grey, bustling streets of London was something brand new, unique and worth seeing for the fish out of water comedy value. But on the whole, this movie doesn't exist to take these characters on a fun summer ride, but purely to act as a reminder to both Christopher and the adult target audience of how depressing adulthood is, and even its typical Disney sickly sweet ending that would make a big pot of honey taste sour in comparison, can't save this movie from being one of the biggest emotional downers of the year. Jeez, thanks Disney. I therefore give Disney's Christopher Robin 3 out of 5 rookie reels. Well, that was our review. Tell us what you thought in the comments below, and make sure to like, share and subscribe in order to watch our other spoiler-free reviews of some of 2018's cinematic ups and downs. Until next time, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Plenty of callbacks to the classic moments of Pooh. The movie plays into the tired adage. The movie plays into the tired I'll add a Jew. To Tigger becoming confused. Fuck me, I think I am.
Liked what you saw and have an interest for travel and adventure? Check out our other YouTube channel, Roamin Rookies, as we travel across 14 countries in an 11-month whirlwind of fun and excitement. Just click here or the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.